Hi, my name's Steve Jones and this is a quick tutorial on one of the new features in Witness 22. I'm going to be showing you how to bring data into your model quickly using data table new elements. Data tables were introduced as part of Witness 21 and they are a mixed type group of data, a bit like a database table or a data frame from other software. You're now able to bring data directly into them from Excel and CSV flat files. So I'm going to be showing you how to bring data into that table at the start of your model using Excel. So I've got a quite simple demo model here to explain the concepts. A very simple process with random part arrivals into a buffer, machine processing those parts and putting out into a cooling buffer. If this was such a simple process, we might not need data tables, but let's make this a slightly bigger problem with 100 of each element. So now I might need lots of data to drive this model, and to get that data in, I'm going to look to some data I've collected in Excel already. So let's have a quick look at that data. And I've got 5 columns looking at the ID of each machine, a name for that machine, the time between arrivals of parts to that process, the cycle time and the cooling time. So I want to be able to read in this data for all 100 of my new buffers and machines and use that data in a nice, quick and easy way. So we're going to read this data into Witness 22 and I'll show you how. Data tables are easy to create. You can drag on from the designer elements or define in the element tree. So if I just show you one of those, here I've got a data table, and here's the dialog to define what that data table looks like. I can create new fields for this data table quite quickly with this button here, and define what type they're going to be. For my name, I'll probably want a string. For my ID, I'll probably want an integer. And for my cycle times, these might want to be integers or reals. So you can go ahead and set a data table up quite quickly in this way. And then we're going to show you how to bring that data into Witness quite quickly. So I've got one already ready made here. I've named my fields equivalent to the names of my columns in Excel. And now what we want to do is to define when the data table should connect to the data in Excel. So the choices I've got here around connection in this middle part of the dialog. I can choose to have no connection, to have this data purely within Witness, to connect to a CSV flat file or to Excel. I'm going to choose the Excel option, and it's going to show me a dialog box to go and find that data. So I want this to be an input data table. I'm going to bring data in to drive my model. I'm not interested in outputting just yet. I'm going to do that in another tutorial. So if I click Browse here, it will allow me to browse for my Excel file. It'll show me that, and I'm just going to select the region with my data in it. What that's done in Witness is to create a string expression which defines where my data should be found. This string can be defined in any way as you normally would within Witness, so it can be constructed from variables. At the moment, that's put in an absolute reference to my Excel workbook, to the exact sheet and the range. If I want to make that relative to where my model's kept, I can take out the absolute path. That's easy to do. Or I could construct this to define which data to bring in, depending on other data within my model. So if I click OK there, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to tick active for now. And what active means is that whenever I restart my model, this data will be refreshed from Excel. So if we make changes, we rerun our model, we should see those changes reflected in Witness. So when I click OK, it says the table has been modified. Do you want to reload the data? Whatever time I'm at, if I make a change, it asks me if I want to make that refresh. I'm going to hit yes. And what we should see if we go to statistics for my data table is we've now got all the data from Excel ready to drive my model. So how do we get access to this data in a data table? It's been possible since Witness 21, but just to quickly show you, if we look at machine 1 and the cycle time here, we use the element name of the data table. I'm using N here to reference the row, and the column, my fourth column, is my cycle times. So I'm very easy to reference my cycle time for each of my 100 machines here, and we should be able to run that model.